In the dead of night, an eerie silence descended upon the old convent. The wind howled through the ancient corridors, carrying with it a sense of dread that made even the bravest of souls shiver in fear. The nuns who lived there whispered in hushed tones about the legend of Sister Mary, a nun who had mysteriously disappeared years ago. Sister Mary was said to have been a devoted servant of God, but her unwavering faith had driven her to madness. It was rumored that she had made a pact with the devil himself, trading her soul for otherworldly powers. Some claimed to have seen her wandering the halls at night, her eyes empty and soulless, a dark aura surrounding her frail figure. One by one, the nuns began to fall victim to Sister Mary's malevolent influence. They spoke of hearing her haunting whispers in the darkness, promising unspeakable horrors to those who dared to defy her. Shadows danced on the walls, moving with a life of their own, as if controlled by an unseen force. As the nights grew longer and the terror within the convent escalated, the remaining nuns knew they had to confront Sister Mary and put an end to her reign of terror. Armed with holy relics and prayers on their lips, they ventured into the darkest depths of the convent, determined to banish the malevolent spirit once and for all. But as they reached the heart of the convent, they were met with a sight that froze their blood in their veins. Sister Mary stood before them, her eyes ablaze with a demonic fire, her twisted form a grotesque parody of her former self. With a wicked smile, she raised her hand and unleashed a wave of dark energy that engulfed the nuns in a maelstrom of agony and despair. And as the screams echoed through the halls, the legend of Sister Mary grew even more terrifying, a warning to all who dared to tread in the shadow of the nuns' curse. The old convent stood as a haunted monument to her wickedness, a grim reminder of the horrors that lurked beyond the veil of the mortal world. In a small, secluded convent tucked away in the lonely hills, there lived a group of nuns devoted to their faith. Sister Mary, a young and devoted nun, was known for her unwavering dedication to serving the Lord. However, strange things began to happen within the convent walls. Late at night, eerie whispers could be heard, echoing through the empty corridors. Some of the nuns claimed to have seen a shadowy figure lurking in the shadows. But when they went to investigate, there was nothing there. Sister Mary, always the rational one, dismissed these claims as mere imagination. But as the days passed, Sister Mary couldn't ignore the feeling of unease that settled over the convent. It was as if a dark presence had taken root within their sacred home. The other nuns too began to feel the weight of fear pressing down on them. One fateful night, as Sister Mary made her way to the chapel to pray, she felt a chilling presence behind her. She turned, but there was nothing there. Heart-pounding, she quickened her pace, but the feeling of dread only grew stronger. As she entered the chapel, a cold gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing the candles and plunging the space into darkness. Sister Mary felt a hand grip her shoulder with icy force, and a guttural voice whispered in her ear, "Leave this place now, before it's too late." Terrified, Sister Mary fled from the chapel and sought out the other nuns. They gathered in the common room, huddling together in fear as they shared their experiences. It became clear that they were not alone in the convent. Some sinister force had invaded their home, and they were its unwitting prisoners. As the nights passed, the hauntings grew more intense. Objects moved on their own. Chilling laughter echoed through the halls, and the nuns began to experience violent nightmares. Sister Mary, determined to uncover the truth, delved into the history of the convent. What she discovered was a tale of unspeakable horror. The convent had been built on the grounds of an ancient burial site, and the restless spirits of the dead sought vengeance for disturbing their eternal slumber. Armed with this knowledge, Sister Mary and the nuns embarked on a daring ritual to cleanse the convent and free themselves from the clutches of the malevolent spirits. They performed the ancient rite with unwavering faith, calling upon the power of the Lord to banish the evil that had taken hold of their home. As the ritual reached its climax, the spirits unleashed one final, desperate assault on the nuns, but their faith proved stronger. A blinding light filled the chapel, and with a deafening roar, the malevolent presence was expelled from the convent, never to return. Sister Mary and her fellow nuns emerged from the ordeal shaken but unbroken, though the memory of their harrowing experience would never fade. They knew that their faith had triumphed over the forces of darkness, and as they continued their lives devoted to serving the Lord, they found solace in the knowledge that they had overcome a horror beyond imagining. In the small town of Willow Creek, there was a legend that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to speak its name, the tale of the nun. The nun was said to be a ghostly figure that haunted the abandoned convent on the outskirts of town, her piercing eyes filled with malice and her unearthly whispers sending chills down the bravest of souls. One stormy night, a group of curious teenagers decided to explore the decaying ruins of the convent, oblivious to the warnings of the townspeople. As they ventured deeper into the dark corridors, the air grew colder, and a sense of dread washed over them. Suddenly they heard the faint sound of chanting coming from the chapel, and they followed the eerie melody to its source. There, illuminated by candlelight, stood the nun, her pale face twisted in a malevolent grin. Her eyes glowed with an otherworldly light as she beckoned the teenagers closer, her voice a sinister whisper that sent shivers down their spines. They tried to flee, but the doors slammed shut, trapping them in the chapel with the malevolent nun. As the teenagers cowered in fear, the nun revealed her true form, a spectral being consumed by hatred and torment. She floated towards them, her ghostly form causing the very air to chill, and her cold touch causing their hearts to race with terror. One by one, the teenagers succumbed to the nun's curse, their screams echoing through the halls of the convent until only silence remained. To this day, the legend of the nun haunts the town of Willow Creek, a grim reminder of the dangers that lie in the darkness. Those who dare to speak her name do so in hushed tones, for fear that the malevolent spirit may once again rise from the shadows and claim their souls for eternity. So beware, dear reader, for the nun's curse knows no bounds, and her horror will forever linger in the hearts of those who dare to seek her out.